Things presently have not been usually well for countries in East Asia, and what we can only say is that a huge war is coming if not prevented soon enough. Reports are talking about a new tension that is quickly gaining a lot of momentum in East Asia between China and Japan. The questions here are, what are the reasons for such tensions? What could be the final results if these tensions finally break? We want you to brace yourselves as we take this great moment to crack down on this issue. Without further ado, let's dive into it. The truth of the matter is that Japan is currently deteriorating, and many of the countries in East Asia are currently building up their militaries and alliances against what is coming ahead of them. With such tensions arising in East Asia, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida placed his blame on 3 countries: Russia, North Korea, and China, which he believed to be the cause of all these dramas that were arising in the Middle East. Japan currently is in a worrying state, and it has also not been left behind in investing in its army. Japan started off behaving this way because of the war that is present in Ukraine when Russia invaded the Ukrainian country. It is no longer a secret that Japan and Russia have not been friends for a long time. The root of their problem has been the southernmost Korean islands, which they both dispute to be owners of. The conflict cooled down, though, the moment Japan learned that they had a much bigger problem than Russia: North Korea. North Korea is one of the countries which no state would wish to mess with. And facts be told, North Korea is a country known for its nuclear bombs. North Korea has repeatedly been flying missiles over Japan, and this has been quite an uncomfortable show for the Japanese citizens. They all know very well that what is on those missiles is nothing but nuclear warheads. North Korea has around 40 nuclear warheads, and this alone is what Japan doesn't want to take on lightly. Japan has instantaneously come up to counter this by increasing its budget to help increase its counter-strike capability. So they diced their game into hypersonic missiles. At least with this, North Korea will have to think twice before attacking it. But that is not the only biggest threat they have. Japan have been seeing China as the greatest threat of all time. Leave alone North Korea. According to an official national security document, it describes China as the greatest strategic challenge ever to securing the peace and stability of Japan. Now, how did these all start? For starters, in 2013, China has been a great strategic partner to Japan. This later began to change since then when Japan had a huge change in attitude towards China. Friends who became enemies, as many people say. The root of enmity stemmed up from the kind of military spending each had. During the same year, Japan had military spending of around $49 billion, which was different from China, which had much bigger spending than them, $164 billion. Today, this figure is even higher. We are talking of budgets close to $230 billion. Beijing has been increasing its military budget by around 7% each year, which has been shrinking over the years. Right now, the Chinese military is 4 times bigger than that of Japan, and this has sparked lots of insecurities on Japan's side. Japan is currently living in a very dangerous situation. A lot of its insecurities span from something about Taiwan that China has been giving its eyes on. Xi Jinping wants Taiwan to be a province of the People's Republic of China, and if he doesn't get what he wants, he could use his military, and this alone is what Japan fears the most. Why do we say so, even though China is not interested in Japan? In 2022, China sent 1,727 aircraft over the Taiwan Strait, and while this is very alarming for Taipei, it also became a headache for Tokyo. The issue here was that Japan has close proximity to Taiwan. While Tokyo might be miles away from Taipei, we have to put in mind that some of Japan's territories lie much closer to Taiwan, and China trying to invade Taiwan means that Japan might lose these territories in the process, which is something they didn't want to happen. So Japan has had its military bases on these islands. Also, to boost it up, Japan has received much military support from the United States too. Now, where does the United States come into this matter? We all know the importance of Taiwan to the United States. Taiwan is one of the greatest producers of microchips and semiconductors, which have been very crucial for the US economy and the world in general. So in this case, the US would do everything possible to protect Taiwan's independence. They have, therefore, housed very important military bases in Japan's Southwest Islands. And as a NATO ally, Japan will certainly back the United States in the case the conflicts finally burst, just to protect its islands. To cut the long story short, it's possible that Japan could be dragged into this Taiwan conflict, and this is actually what Japan has long been preparing for. China doesn't want Japan to be involved in this war, but if Japan does involve itself in this war, then the war may not be in China's favor. Why? Because they will need to have advanced weaponry and a powerful military for counter-strike capability, which they lack at the moment. But first, did you know that China and Japan are very similar in many ways? Let's go ahead and look at their histories. Let's start with Japan. The 50s marked a turn for the Japanese economy. It began to industrialize, and it became a hub for the development of electronics, automobiles, steel, and other high-tech devices. And the rocketing economy skyrocketed. In the 60s, Japan's economy was rapidly expanding, and it grew by an average of 10% per year, such that it became the second largest worldwide. This proceeded on until the 80s, when the Americans thought that it would overtake the United States as the biggest economy. It was something that looked so sure to happen soon during those days. Gigantic Japanese corporations were already famous for their expertise in manufacturing cars, computers, and TVs. Stories and books about them and how they would take over the world were published. Japan's economic system started becoming so superior that it overtook the United States. Sadly, all was not gold for them when finally their chairman Mao died. After the 90s, Japan's economy started failing, and its rights in the position as one of the most superior economies was handed over to China. Now, the leader of the Chinese People's Republic, Deng Xiaoping, opened China up to the world by bringing so many investments that they actually turned China into a global factory. With this, the Chinese economy grew by more than 10% every year. In 2010, China became the world's second largest economy. Also, just like Japan, the media started believing that China would at one point defeat the United States as the world's largest economy. From this brief history alone, you can actually get how the two were similar, and according to many economic prophets, they also believe that China's economy could fail for the same reasons as Japan's. So, why did Japan's economy come to an end? First, the massive real estate prices, driven by a huge quantitative easing and money printing, were the main reasons for its collapse. The Japanese government was printing way too much money, and this resulted in way too much money going to the Japanese markets, and hence causing a huge downfall of the Japanese stock market by more than 50%. Whether China will experience such a downfall only remains to be predicted. Already there is a red flag in its current economy, and last year alone, China's housing market crashed. Also, just like Japan, which has a majority of its population as aged individuals, China is also following suit. China's economy has always been powered by cheap labor and exports just like Japan. As of current, it is highly facing a deficit in the number of youths. Also, China is seeing some of the major companies escaping the country. And just an example, Apple is already planning to move its manufacturing hub out of China. With this move, it seems more of its companies will also follow the same suit, and China's economy will start deteriorating. After it lost its dominance in its industries, its economy changed to a service-based economy. This took away a lot of the explosive growth it had when it was a manufacturing hub. We expect the same thing to happen to China too very soon. US manufacturing orders in China fell by 40%, and the move to the 4 Asian tigers is already happening. It's inevitable that the Chinese economy will slow down, and in the end lead to an end of an era when China suddenly stops growing. We all know that much of China's power has had more to do with its economic growth and its huge population. But when we see these things being taken away, it means death to China. And if this happens, you should be expecting something not cool to show up. A destabilized China could be more dangerous than it is today. An economic collapse will mean a loss of power by Xi Jinping, and if a dictator loses power, it could result in something very unpredictable occurring. What Japan and its allies need to know is that they should prepare for the worst. From your thoughts, what do you think could happen? Don't forget to leave your comments in the comment box below. This marks the end of our video today. We hope you guys found it interesting and informative. Please don't forget to like and share. Also, remember to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for more of our videos. Thank you for watching, and let's meet in our next video.